great afternoon. Happy and blessed Wednesday, everyone. I hope you all are doing well on this Wednesday. It is officially the last week of March. I feel like the full week, if I'm not mistaken. And we just rolling right through. I'm so excited that spring is here. And before I get too far into this episode, I'm getting ahead of myself. Hello, whoever is new, welcome. My name is Catherine Barnett, and this is the Cat Barnett Podcast, episode 84. And I also help women who struggle with confidence in their faith and fitness develop strategies and systems that lead them to gain clarity, direction, and purpose so that they can be fulfilled as they walk in their calling faithfully. And I'm always blessed each and every week to just come to you guys and pray about new topics that I've been either thinking about, in going through, or just got out of. So as we are wrapping up winter two at my job, and spring is just here now, and we're gonna start our spring session, and I'm just getting more comfortable in the role I'm in, and just growing and trying to continue to grow the passions that I have outside of my job that I'm interested in, and my business goals and goals that I have that I believe God put in my heart. It led me to today's episode, and today's episode is boundaries. And because I wanted to talk about today's episode because I think, at least for me, the misconception used to be that setting boundaries were selfish, but it's actually not. And they're actually really a necessity. The further along you get in your journey, you're going to need to learn how to set healthy boundaries with the people around you. Because the sad truth is that not everybody is going to be able to come with you, or continue to want to grow at the same speed as you're growing. Some people that you love will just have to get left behind, or that you're going to have to love them from a distance. So I really want to talk about today, first, what are boundaries, and how um, and why it's important in setting healthy boundaries in any type of your relationships. So I hope you guys are with me. If you're watching live, put live, and throughout, just let me know if you're getting value, if you can relate to what I'm saying, if you are watching live or the replay, because I always appreciate your guys' feedback. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about boundaries. So what are boundaries in the first place, right? Boundaries are rules, limits, or guidelines that someone sets in order to let others know what they are comfortable with and what they are not comfortable with. So, boundaries are a way to identify, or ways to identify other people. Uh, so, boundaries are to identify ways for other people to behave towards them, and what will happen if those boundaries are broken. So, setting healthy boundaries in any type of relationships, whether it's platonic relationships with friends, or romantic relationships with a significant other or a spouse, um, these type of setting or creating those healthy boundaries will create a good foundation for a healthy relationship. So, before we get too deep into this episode, I also want to go over how, like, setting boundaries is essential because it protects your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. And it also helps prevent burnout, reduce stress, and foster self-respect by clearly communicating your needs, limits, and capacities to others. And boundaries also help build healthier, like I said before, respectful relationships by decreasing resentment and preventing you from being taken advantage of. And that's the big thing. It's more to protect you and keep you and your mental and your emotional and physical well-being at state and protected. So there are many different types of boundaries that I learned, and just that we can set for ourselves. And these boundaries include physical boundaries, time boundaries, conversational boundaries, relationship boundaries, and personal boundaries. So I will go over all five of those boundaries pretty briefly, and then I'll go over why it's important to set healthy boundaries in any of our relationships. So the first boundary is physical boundaries. So physical boundaries are boundaries that we set for ourselves to ensure physical safety and proximity, including boundaries surrounding sexuality, where and when we go places, and what we are comfortable with physically from others. Number two is time boundaries. Time boundaries are what we set to create a healthy mindset and schedule for ourselves. This can include limits on how much time we spend with someone or doing a certain activity, and setting time boundaries for work or school and home life balance as well. Number three is conversational boundaries. And it kind of goes off of what it says in the word. Converse mean to conversate. So conversational boundaries are setting limits about what topics we are open to discussing and what topics we do not feel comfortable talking about with others. So this can include many different topics such as politics, religions, sexual content, and many more, just to name a few. I always try to tell people, unless you're like my really, really close friend or family member, I do not like talking about politics or my religion, just because it stirs up unnecessary sometimes. Um, let's just say debates that I didn't ask for, that I didn't want, and that doesn't need to be had if both parties don't want to have them. Um, Number four is relationship boundaries, and relationship boundaries are limits that are discussed and agreed upon with your partner or your family, coworkers, and close friends. And number five, the last boundary that you may have or need is personal boundaries. And personal boundaries are guidelines and rules we set for ourselves to ensure that we are being aware of our needs, and also being aware of how we respect and meet those needs in a healthy way for others. So, now that I've discussed all these different type of boundaries that we can set for ourselves, let's talk about why it's important to have healthy boundaries. Because I truly believe that, talking about all these different boundaries is very, very important that we know which one we will need at each in a given time, because boundaries differ from person to person and can always change. So setting, your own healthy boundaries can be a great starting point to having a healthy relationship with your partner, your boss, family member, teacher, coworker, or anyone that you engage with. And so let's go over. why it's important, and key reasons of why you should set them. So, it's important to set boundaries, um, because it helps protect your mental health and prevents burnout, like I stated earlier. But let's deeper dive into that, because without clear limits, you risk overextending yourself to meet everyone else's needs while neglecting your own. And unfortunately, I've been guilty of doing that several times in my life. But I am learning and still learning how to set clear, healthy boundaries. And it also helps reduce stress and anxiety, because boundaries eliminate the pressure of overcommitment, and the crazy making, cycle of trying to control how others treat you. And it also helps, by setting boundaries, prevents emotional exhaustion. And this was a big one for me as well, because by saying no to things that you don't want to do or things that drain you, you preserve the energy needed for your own priorities and rest, or the own hobbies and passion that you actually want to do. So those are key. And number two is it helps build healthier, more respectful relationships. And I'm a living testimony of this. When I started like really putting boundaries down with my close friends and my family members, and continue to still do so, it's helped me tremendously, because boundaries serve as a roadmap or guardrails that teach people how to interact with you in a way that feels safe and comfortable. So it also helps foster mutual respect. So when you communicate your limits, it reinforces your self-worth, and it invites others to value your time and space, because you have to know time is precious and time is valuable, and I can't afford to have anyone waste my time. So if I feel like you are wasting it, or you're not being straightforward with me, or washy with me, nope, time to set a clear boundary with you. And it's also going to help reduce resentment, which I don't want to have towards anybody, because many issues stem from that simmering or lingering anger when a boundary is crossed but never talked about or never mentioned. So explicit boundaries prevent this buildup. And also in this last one of, um, just creating healthier boundaries and more respectful relationships, it helps create clarity. So setting boundaries helps set clear expectations, which reduces misunderstandings and the likelihood of any future conflicts. Number three is, by setting healthy boundaries, it helps preserve your sense of identity. When you don't set boundaries, you can easily lose yourself in people pleasing, or taking responsibility for others' emotions when it has nothing to do with you. So, by setting these boundaries, it encourages autonomy. And what I mean by that is boundaries help you maintain your own interests, values, and beliefs, even when they differ from those around you. And it also helps strengthen your self worth. Every time you uphold a boundary, you send a message to yourself that your needs are valid and important, because they are. And number four, going into boundaries, and the last one before I wrap this up, is it ensures physical and emotional safety. So it ensures physical and emotional safety. So by setting boundaries, there are um they are your primary tool for protection. So what I mean by that is your personal safety. By setting boundaries, they allow you to define what kind of physical touch or conversational topics or financial interactions are permissible with your partner or your significant other. And it also helps with emotional property. It helps, you know, by setting boundaries, they guard your emotional space, which is ensuring that you aren't subjected to belittling behavior or toxic dynamics from anyone. Um, so, just to go over why it's important to set boundaries again. Number one, it protects your mental health and prevents burnout. Number two, it builds healthier, more respectful relationships, whether those are platonic relationships or romantic relationships. Number three, setting boundaries helps preserve your sense of identity. By saying no, it helps you not lose yourself in people pleasing or taking responsibility for other people's emotions. And number four, by setting healthy boundaries, it helps ensure physical and emotional safety. And it's basically by setting boundaries, it helps and it is your primary tool for your own self protection. So I hope you guys got, if you didn't get anything from this episode, that setting boundaries is essential and it's important and it's needed for your own mental well-being, your emotional and your physical well-being. So setting boundaries is not selfish. It is needed and important for your overall well-being. So I hope you guys got what I was putting down from today's episode about boundaries and that you start, and I encourage you to start setting boundaries today, if not this week. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and an even better week. I will be going out of town this week, if it all plays well, God willing, to Missouri for a business conference just to grow, continue to learn more on personal development, and continue to stretch and just be all who God called me to be. So I'm very excited for that if it all goes well. So pray for me, y'all, that I make it there safely and back. And yeah, that I just continue to keep growing as a bold woman of God. And anyone who needs prayers, let me know. I am also doing and a part of a blood cancer visionary fund awareness foundation that we are just raising funds for people who are affected by cancer or someone that they know that is affected by cancer. And these funds are solely to raise money for hospital bills or for um, bills to help cover their own personal house bills or to put gas in their gas tank to go back home and from appointments. So anything like that. So I am kindly asking donations from now up until May 15th of just to support the cause of just helping uh, take the load off of anyone who has cancer or anyone near them that has cancer. So I will be um, popping that link in my YouTube channel. So please, any 50 cents, a dollar, up until whatever, thousands of dollars, whatever you feel called to donate, any little bit counts. And you are helping be the reason that someone gets a second chance in life. So I will, like I said, link that in my YouTube channel. So if you are feeling called to donate, please, I kindly thank you in advance and just appreciate you all. So with that being said, you all have a great rest of your day. Peace, love, and blessings. And I'll see you guys back here again next week.